Good morning. Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me quite well. I'm in a very unusual, well, I shouldn't say unusual. That's probably weird, but I wanted to get a reaction. That
Not typical.
Right. Yes, I am doing the show in a different location. And so we will get into that. But of course, good morning to all of you. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me get back to comments so I can see what's going on. Hello, Margaret. Good morning. So yes, welcome to Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. And we will obviously get into my lovely guest and co-host, Jennifer Passavant, here in just a moment. But we just wanted to say hi and good morning. Hopefully everybody's doing well, like I said already. So what's going on? Let me know how you guys are doing. Margaret, to answer your question, yes. We do have a lovely view out the window right now, so we do see the snow slightly melting, actually, because before we got on here, it was already 35 degrees, so we do have some of that. Hey, Phil, what's happening, buddy? So, but hopefully you guys are well. It has been a while, and this is only the second time I've been at a different location. The first time I did that, it was in a hotel room, and that was a couple years ago when this show was in its infancy. And now I decided, it was a good idea because I have not seen my lovely friend in so long. And it would have been scary because we've been talking about it for months now. Mm-hmm. It would have been, in March of next year, would have been 3 whole years since I've last seen her in person. So this is a welcome treat. And
Which is when we met. The last time I've seen him in person was the day we met.
Yes. And that's even more unusual, right? Yeah, let's see. Margaret, did you do, shockingly, I did not. We got into, hey, Kate, good morning. We were just hanging out and talking, and I didn't even think about going out there to do that, which, it is.
You should.
Ironically, I was checking in back home and found out that, and Margaret, this goes to you, we didn't get a lick of anything. We got just a little bit of some rain back home, and that was it. So I'm very unusual that we didn't get it. But as I talked about in the past, I typically live in the Bermuda Triangle of Northwest Ohio. So unfortunately, the weather, you can never predict that. So, hey, Tom, good morning. Good morning, Chris. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about that here in a minute because you guys are gonna be fascinating. There's a great kind of cool thing to share, and I think it's great that I got to technically experience that with Jen here. So, but Jen, before we go any further, please tell everybody about yourself.
All right. Well, obviously, I'm Jennifer Passavant, but I am an intuitive spiritual life coach, energy healing practitioner, and channeler of divine beings. And that's how I met him, because we were doing a spiritual event together that was being put on by our mutual friend, Kathleen Sherman, who may or may not be watching. And it was just kindred spirits from the get-go. But that's a little bit about who I am and what I do.
Hey, good morning, Nicole. And that was interesting because, I had a slow start to that event. Like the first little bit, and it's no big deal. I mean, there were so many amazing, practitioners, metaphysical and holistic. I mean, just everybody there were so many great things. The vibe was unbelievable. I mean, That's always what I get jealous when I don't get to get to too many holistic fairs, even just to go and attend some. But that energy when you walk into the room, and it could be anywhere, like we were in a hotel ballroom type of thing, and just you walk in, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But we met briefly, and then there was a point where it's like, I was hoping that I'd get a chance to talk to her because I just, was like, hey, there's got to be something kind of cool. And then, I mean, it was. I mean, It's true. And so I then got rolling, and I got so busy. Hey, Carrie, good morning. I got so busy with readings that, Jen just happened to get done just a tad earlier.
Yeah.
And I was still running even after the event technically was over. I still had one more to go. And I remember her sneaking over her, and I saw her corner of my eye and doing the reading, and I see her sneaking over, and she was just reaching on the table to grab my business card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she wasn't walking away. And I even stopped. I think I said something real quickly. I said, yeah, go for it, whatever. But luckily afterwards, I get done packing up, and then we were I was talking to Kathy afterwards, and I'm like, hey, thank you for everything and stuff like that. And then you walked over, and then that was it. And then we kind of kicked Kathy out of the way, and then you and I were just talking forever.
Because I knew from the get-go, I was like, I'm supposed to meet that guy. And I obviously didn't have a clue who you were, but I just knew that I was supposed to meet you. So I'm like, all right, he's busy. I'm going to just grab his business card so I just have some concept of who this is and maybe figure out why I'm supposed to meet him. And then afterwards, we talked for at least an hour?
At least
an hour. And it was just like we'd known each other forever.
Yeah.
It was like we were meeting again for the first time.
Right. I mean, so true. I mean, it was, because even then, I think I might have said it a couple times that I'm like, I got to get going, because I wasn't going to stick around. I mean, I was, Kathy said I could stick around one more night. I'm like, it's still kind of early. And then, I think I stayed additionally total another 2 hours with working a little over, then packing up, then chatting with you, and everybody, left. And then it was like, really, we were some of the last people leaving the room. So, so it was a great, and so I mean we've been talking ever since. I mean constantly, and she is Carrie Lynn. It is Phil. In some of the most interesting things about that is, she's always, and I've always talked about it. So she's my numbers girl because we always, even together. Hey, Linda, we were sitting around chatting last night, and we just happened to look over or look at our phones or something like that, and then
or my misset stove clock.
True. I know I've been threatening her stove the whole time I've been here. I've been wanting to like switch it because she, the power goes out and the time restarts, and so she just leaves it because she knows it's going to reset when the power goes out again.
Yes. And it validates the sequences because then I know I'm not subconsciously going, I know it's almost 5:55, so I'm going to look at the clock when it's like, I know that whatever I'm seeing on that clock is a valid, like, I'm supposed to see that number sequence. And we saw, 4:32 last night?
Yep.
So, and, 5:55 was on your clock, but 4:32 was on the stove.
Yeah, which was just, I mean, so that's always fun.
Method to the madness. As much as it drives them nuts, method to the madness.
But it's fun. And despite even being here and having the access to the stove, I could easily go over there and switch it without her knowing. But it's better to threaten the stove than to actually do it.
I agree. I agree completely.
Because it would throw everything off then. Then she'd be like lost until the power went out.
Correct. Yes. Be like, I know that it's that's the time, and I'm like, leave it alone.
So I mean, it is wonderful. So Jen, thanks for letting me hang out this weekend with you, and thanks for being on this literally side by side, which is amazing in itself. So I mean, I never thought that this would go that way, where I'd have a chance to sit side by side, because normally if I was going to do that, it would be like at an event and we just do like a quick recording, which a lot of podcasters do. There's so many that do that, and it's cool, and I think it's a great idea. Maybe I'll think of that sometime. But that's if I have time. I mean, to be busy at an event and then have to sit there and record something real quick and then go back to doing something else. I don't know.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And if I'm doing readings, well, forget that. So.
Right.
So, us readers, we're busy. So I really wanted to talk before we dive into some other fun stuff, because we do want to talk about some astrological things that had happened this week and stuff that's coming up. So, Jen lives, a little over 2 hours away from me. So I was, making the journey out. Everything was going great. And it was funny was she reported after she got off of work, she's like, hey, it's snowing heavily. And I'm like, I'm looking out the windshield going, what? Where? Because at that point, it was a little over an hour. I think I still had a little over an hour left or something. And I was just like, really? And so I immediately go to my car's dash, and it's got a little weather map thing that'll post things. And so I pull up, and I'm like, showing that I'm in the middle of what should be bad weather, bad snow. Yeah. But there's nothing happening. And I'm like, that's okay. That's all right. Maybe I'm having a little bit of luck. Maybe it's holding off or something. And I think it was maybe not even like 15, 20 minutes after that, because I even told her, I said, well, it's not too bad. It's nothing now. Sure enough, I saw the first snowflakes, and then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then it was just to the point where it was almost whiteout-ish. Yeah, it was like a squall. It was bad. I was blown away by how thick it was getting, and I'm like, oh boy. It was like snowflakes as big as like quarters. Yeah. They were huge. It was weird. Yeah. It was the epitome of going into hyperspace in Star Wars. Right. Yeah, I mean, just with a slight gray background. But yeah, making my way out, it was really, it was uneventful to that point. And then I was just crazy to see how much snow was dumping. I'm like, okay, because originally I wanted her to kind of have an idea of what time I was going to arrive. And just the way, I'm just not all of a sudden banging on the door and then being like, holy crap, something's here.
Right.
Who's here? It's so early. But I was making good time. And then all of a sudden that weather hit and it slowed me back down again. So the point I'm getting to is, when you live this kind of life and you're sitting there and you really dive into it, and we obviously have our ups and downs and we have, go through things that I wanted to, what's Phil got? That's how it worked yesterday. The radar indicated that it should be or have been snowing, but nothing. But once it arrived, snowflakes were huge. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was
good old lake effect, Margaret. Absolutely. That was exactly what this was.
Oh yeah. And it was going into a cosmic soul. But yeah, I mean, and so, you and I've really tried a lot of different things this year. I've changed things. I've talked about this before. And, one thing that's always kept with me is about that, you're really connected. You have to be a shaman per se. It's just a point of how connected you are with the universe and your guides. And I was like, look, I understand the weather has to do its thing. That's just a part of cycles. We have to endure them whether we like them or not. But I remember hearing stories before and I remember learning about this. It's like, well, there's ways that you could kind of control the weather just a hair. Mm-hmm. So I kept thinking, I'm like, I'm just going to reach out to everybody that's around me, everybody that's following me type of thing. And so I did my thing. I said, hey, look, can you get me there? I understand could you just tone it down a little bit? Just allow me to get to her house because obviously I don't need to be having a whiteout type of situation, looking for a driveway, which, was crazy. I mean, luckily I had nobody behind me when I made the wrong turn already. But when it was great. I didn't have to slam on the brakes or anything like that.
Good. My warning. See what I mean?
You did. She did warn me, so I got lucky. But I just said, hey, can you ease up on it a little bit? I said, look, just at least get me to the point where if you need to start picking up as soon as I see the driveway, I totally understand. But at least give me a little bit. Hey, Dinah, good morning. So I'm going to show you guys, and obviously I didn't have a chance to upload it and stuff like that. You got to remember it. So reached out to the creator, my guides, the universe. I mean, I was really, truly reaching out. So I'm going to show you a photo I took because as soon as I willed it, I don't think it was maybe 5-10 minutes later that something magical happened. And you got to remember, this storm was thick and it was no joke. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but this is and I'm going to have to angle it weird. But you can see that I know why. Oh, I got the green screen still effect. Well,
you do?
I still have green screen effect on.
Well, you can still see that white blob.
Yeah, here
in the middle there. That white blob is where snow is not.
Yeah, and so that big little gap, that little vertical gap. I forgot I let the green screen effect on.
That's interesting.
That's fun. So you guys get to see my background and stuff. But that gap appeared, and it was like, you got to be kidding me. Because I mean, it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have happened. It should have been just that solid until it got to the end of the storm, but it didn't. But I stayed positive, and I wasn't frustrated. I never got nervous, even when I did see somebody that just before I got up to it was missing their exit. They went off, so they were got a little down in a little ravine. So
I saw a couple of those. Yeah, on my way home from work.
So but that was I think that's what's special is that the more you dive into, and again, you don't have to say spiritual stuff. I mean, it really, there's so much that's out there, but it's the fact of just really tuning into things. And for me to do that, to sit there and just open my heart to everything, really just, hey, we're in this together. Give me a little bit of a chance, that way I can get there safely, because I already was slowing down, but let's just help a little bit more. And then that gap opened up and I was like, holy smokes, are you kidding me? So, so very grateful, very thankful. Cause even then, once I got to the exit, it was like, she timed it too. She actually just said, yeah, it's not so bad here anymore. And I'm like, I didn't respond because I was really exit, but I'm like, I know, because I was hitting the exit. I'm like, there's like no snow in the air right now. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I pulled that photo up real fast. I'm like,
and we got a good 2.5, 3 inches in like a couple hours. It was ridiculous. So I have a similar story.
Okay.
Actually, I have a couple of similar stories.
Go for it.
So this pendant, actually, I wear it's I think it's a peso coin, but it was my grandmother's. But but I wear it because it reminds me or connects me with the energies of Apollo, who is the sun god, but he's very connected to like Archangel Michael, Yeshua. He's very solar energy. So he's kind of like an aspect of all of those beings. And I remember I was helping to organize something called Pagan Pride Day. And I was one of the main coordinators, and I knew it was going to rain that day. I'm like, son of a gun. And so I appealed to Apollo. I was like, if you could just, I want it to rain. I know we need the rain, but if you could just hold off until the last of the vendors are done packing up, I would be so grateful. Thank you so much. Sure enough, the last vendor had just put the last of their stuff in their trunk, and that's when the sprinkling started. And then the same thing, I had a friend of mine who was suffering from seasonal affective disorder, and it was spring. And so it was spring, there's still a lot of cloud cover. So it was like March, April or something. And she desperately needed to go out and get some sunshine. So she was going to go to this particular park. So I knew she was going. She texted me and I appealed to Apollo. And I was like, if you could just please, just for the amount of time that she's at the park, open up the clouds and let the sun shine because she needs this. She texted me when she got back in the car and she said, it was weird. When I got there, the clouds were covering, but before I got out of the car, the clouds parted. And just as I had gotten into the car to leave, the cloud cover came back. And she said, I have a feeling that you might have something to do with it. And I was like, actually, I do. So it can be done.
Yes. And again, it's just your attitude towards it. I mean, you guys heard my bad word on the show, and life is always saying try. Well, I'm just going to try to manipulate the weather.
Just see what happens. Yeah. Try it out. See what happens.
Yeah. And again, just like Master Yoda says, you got to do or do not. There is no try. So, if you really
might not succeed.
Right. But you can't get upset either. Right. Even if the weather did not cooperate for both of us in those situations or for your friend.
Right.
That's okay too. There's other reasons that needed to happen for that.
Yes.
There's other things maybe we had to learn or.
Well, and my feeling is that if it doesn't happen, it's because there's a greater good that supersedes my reason for asking.
Sure. No, that's beautiful. Yeah. Chad, that's kind of the weather today. I'm looking for this kind of manifestation. Yeah. Tom, you got to believe it for it to work. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important. I mean, and even just with a lot of us and all that we do, all that we offer with our services to everybody. I mean, we have to believe in what we do. We have to trust what we are getting or what we're doing for those that we are helping.
Yes. And I would say too, it's all in the approach, not just based on belief, but if you notice, we both appealed in an open-hearted, respectful way. We weren't commanding. We weren't selfish about it. We weren't operating from kind of an egoic, I'm an all-powerful being, blah, blah, blah. It was very more of an appeal out of love and respect. And so I think it's all in the approach as well.
Absolutely.
Because if you got kind of that God complex where you want to go out and you want to do some cloud busting just because you can, to kind of prove to yourself how cool you are, that's a totally different mindset. And I think it's better to kind of have a more reverent approach to Gaia and the elementals and, all divine beings and Father, Mother, God. So
I love it. Yeah, I mean, makes 100% sense. Y'all trying to say I don't believe it. Chad, you certainly, well, here's the thing is you could ask for it to be warmer, but that may be for you personally. You might just get a warm, fuzzy feeling inside of you.
Right. So, or it might warm up to like 42 when it's 32.
True.
It's warmer.
You're right.
Technically, it's warmer.
The little things.
But it's still winter. So, it's...
Phil, if you think about it, there could have been others that may have wanted the snow. Exactly. Well, of course. I mean, think about it. We're coming up to Christmas.
Hmm.
Everybody always, I mean, they got the classic Christmas songs, you want it to be snow on Christmas morning. You want that beauty, that just classic image that we grew up knowing and loving.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And sure, there is that kind of, you don't know what people were wishing or what they weren't wishing, Granted, probably most of us were not wanting the snow because it's a Friday.
Right.
After work.
Yeah, it's not Christmas yet. And it came in the form of like a dumping squall. So,
So, things happen the way they're supposed to happen. You just got to roll with it as best you can. And it's so easy for us. And a lot of us do. We get frustrated with so many things in life.
Yeah.
And to even then to let weather be one of those things. I mean, yes, it can hinder your plans. But like for me, just wanted to get here, I was not going to let it, bother me. If I had to slow down, I had to slow down. Well, I did anyway. But
right.
It's just the point. If it was meant for me not to get here at a certain point, maybe that's why it also worked out. Maybe they knew I had to wait.
And it gave me more time to get my chores done. So I think the weather was like, Jen's got shit to do, and she wants to get it done before Adam shows up. So we'll just slow him down a little bit. But the problem was it slowed me down too.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because you didn't get home right away either.
No, it took me an hour when it should have taken me a half an hour.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So, but that's again, that's where I really wanted you guys to kind of see that it can work for you, and you guys all can do that. You all can, manifesting things, even just in general. It doesn't have to be the weather. Anything, careers, relationships. I mean, all those funny things that just involve our lives, So, but you got to believe in it. You got to mean it. And you really want
to. And let go of attachment to it. Because who was it? Who said it? I think it was Chad, that you have to believe. Who the hell was it? Oh, somebody else wanted snow. It was Phil.
Yeah.
Phil. It's true, because I can want to manifest something, and my conscious self can really think that that's what's for my highest and best good, and I can really want it. But if I put it out there and say, I ask and intend to receive blah, 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 if it is for my highest and best good and the highest and best good of all, then you're letting go of attachment as to whether or not you receive it, having full faith and trust that if you receive it, it's because it's for your highest and best good. If you don't, it's because for whatever reason, it isn't. And then you're not so deflated and disappointed because you didn't get what you wanted. It's more of, okay, it didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet at least, but I have full faith and trust that it's because it's for my highest and best good and my highest and best good of all.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and even then, some things aren't going to be instantaneous. They can take a while for them to set up because certain things have to align.
Mm-hmm.
The stars have to align.
Yes. And you have to align with
True.
it.
True. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You have to be emotionally and mentally aligned with it.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to receive it. If you're not ready to receive it, the universe is going to go, nope.
Oh, it's all. Chad's saying my manifesting comes in what jobs and people I'll interact with. Please, not this job or work with that guy. Works pretty consistent when when like you say, and the real intent behind it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Phil's, it's like manifesting a tug of war.
Manifesting tug of war, accurate. Yes. Yeah. No, I want this, but I want that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then it really would be a tug of war because
one person wants one thing, the other person wants the other.
Right. Yeah. So we did have what are we doing? We're good. Oh, we're almost top of the hour. Perfect. We are kind of shooting from the hip a little bit, because obviously there's a lot of fun things that we can go down rabbit holes all over the place easily. We were kind of doing a little bit of that last night too. But one thing that obviously we did have this week, because you had more of experiences than I did, but we had the full moon, or what was known as the cold moon, which was the last one of the year. Unfortunately, I did not get to physically see it. Obviously, I didn't feel it as much, but with the cloudy weather, Monday was the last time I've seen sun. Yeah. So, and then it's been cloudy ever since. But so if you guys got to see the moon, the last one of the year, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if anybody noticed anything, felt anything. Please let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of curious that, I didn't have a chance to really post about it. I wanted to. Mm-hmm. I was kind of getting sidetracked with a bunch of things going on this week, even though I was off all week. I still was busy, but I mean, I didn't really have as much. The only thing I could possibly think of is, oh, geez, one second. That doesn't happen very often, but every couple months I get one. So
Yeah.
Interesting. So sorry about that, folks. Interesting. Oh, come on.
Said an error occurred.
Let's see if that'll do it. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. You know, every once in a while you just get people that just want to show up for the wrong reason. So Chad, got to see what an amazing foggy night. Live off the lake St. Clair. Yeah, weather was right for it. Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm sure that was awesome.
Yeah.
Did you attempt to take any photos? I mean, my camera, my phone is still a little bit older, so it doesn't really do it justice, but at least it captures the moment of just seeing this big white dot.
Right. Yeah. Or for me, my iPhone, it's like a tiny white dot, but it's the way, I read about this, but it's something about the way the light comes through the lens.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly the details of it.
More emotional than usual during the full moon. Certain TV shows made me cry. Oh, okay.
Okay. So Dinah, so that was kind of my experience where I was experiencing emotions that were not typical for me, and they were heavy, really heavy. And the day before, one of my coworkers experienced a lot of stress and a lot of frustration, and was not, how shall I say, was taking that out on others inadvertently. And so it was just a lot of emotional triggering. And I noticed that where there would either be high highs or low lows. But if you think about it, the moon was in Gemini.
Right.
And so Gemini is like the kind of like Juno, like you've got two aspects. You've got, you know, and they can kind of flip on a dime. And so there were a lot of the Gemini high highs, low lows type of energy, but very emotionally based, like a lot of emotion going on. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Because I was thinking the only thing I really had was the morning of.
Mm-hmm.
I had some anger running through me.
Yeah, and so Mars is retrograde, and that was what it was. It was a lot of anger and like frustration, and a lot of, you know, from what I saw. I don't know that Dinah. It sounds like Dinah's maybe not referring to those types of emotions, but that was exactly my experience. Was anger and
it wasn't anything right, and it was weird because it was the thing that started the trigger was just some really dumb things. It wasn't like some like horrible situation. It was just something that just agitated me to no end. And I'm like, why is this bothering me this much for that? You know?
Yes.
Hey, Greg, emotional week yourself. Okay. Good. Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's always fascinating because that's what I love about when these things come up. You just never know how some people are going to be affected. Are they? Aren't they? You know, and it's always fun because I still believe, because even like when we go through Mercury in retrograde, which I thought we were done with them, but I was enlightened last night that we are not. So, but that one, those are always blow me away because we do see where there's some people that just get through it with no problem, which I've talked about before, is that it seems like the people that most can utilize the people that aren't dealing with it, and we can kind of help each other out, or at least be that ear, you know, to hear them out, or just sit there with them, even if it's like this, you know, through technology and things, or through messaging or something. But still, just to be there for somebody is important when these things happen. But why are you text messages? But yeah, so. So, you know, obviously a lot of these things that when they do happen, you kind of have to ride through them as best you can. Obviously, don't, you know, go overboard. Don't, you know, like, because even for me, you know, you had that little bit of anger in the morning, and after a couple hours, it was gone. You know, I finally just let it go, release it. So, you know, because you realized it really did. Hey, Dad, what's up? Yes. Yeah, I don't think he even has a clue what was going on. So this might be interesting to see what he says next. Margaret, I just had a feeling of general unrest, on the edge, but then I'm an empath. Right.
Yeah, that's exactly. exactly
Typical.
right. Mars, the planet of war. Yes, exactly.
Right.
Mars, the planet of war, and that's where, because it's in retrograde, we're kind of looking at, we're re-examining things that we've either been at war with in ourselves or a conflict that we've experienced in the past coming back up to be kind of, how shall I say this, readdressed to, so that you can choose to operate from a different perspective. But then Mars also is the planet of like doing an action. And so it's kind of reevaluating and re-examining actions that you've taken. Do they still make sense? Do you need to revise what you're doing or your approach to something? So, you know, it's got both of those balanced and unbalanced aspects to it. So, but I think that, you know, with Gemini and the emotional kind of flip-flopping that can occur there, plus Mars in retrograde, kind of made that perfect storm for a lot of people to be on edge. But it's all old trigger stuff being brought back up to kind of be looked at.
Yep.
With Mercury retrograde that's coming up on December 29th, you have to look at the sign that it's in, which is Capricorn, and which is my sign. So, and my birthday is 2 days before it goes retrograde, so it'll be in its shadow phase when it's on my birthday, and then I'll be traveling at the time, so that'll be interesting. Because Mercury not only rules technology and communication, but also rules travel. So I have to recheck everything and plan for any possible setback or anything like that,
Right.
and just expect the unexpected and prepare for the worst, because any of those things are possible.
Mhm.
But Capricorn is very much about the physical body, and it's all about earthly things, right? So food, money, housing, as well as the physical body. When you've got Mercury in retrograde, it can up things in all of those areas on a mental or communicative perspective. I hope that made sense. But anyway, what?
Let's see. Chad saying he never took any pictures. Yeah, because he's got native in his DNA, so superstitious. So yeah, he never does that stuff, which is totally understandable. So that's.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I get. I mean, you imagine they didn't have that opportunity anyway. But
well,
I think,
right. But I'm curious to know about the superstition about it.
Yeah. Okay,
Chad.
You're
right. They didn't have cameras.
Yeah.
Back in.
Okay, Chad. Explain then. What is the negative side, the downside? If on the superstition side of if that's the case of taking the pick. Phil, my mood the last couple of full moons have been rather easygoing. The previous 3 or 4 were rather rough. There were bouts of isolation where I didn't want to be around anyone. It began all about a day or two before. It was like a light switch. Yeah, I get that. My father being fun. I was at war with myself and I got captured. Well, just get a can opener. Get yourself a P38 can opener. You'll get yourself out eventually. He'll know what that means. Lisa, good morning. Carrie, Neptune, my ruling planet. Its shift gave me a huge relief.
I'll bet it did. And by the way, hi, Carrie. I saw you say hi earlier, but hello, darling. Yeah, I bet that gave you a huge relief.
Sorry, I was being goofy. I was just like, see, Carrie, look, we're together.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she's like, you guys gotta go on together.
Because I know that's what I'm saying. She'll watch your stuff. You're doing HOCC, and then she'll see my stuff. So that's why I think it would be funny because we're like, look, we're together.
Ta-da! Friggin' finally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, almost 3 years. We're so close. But yeah. So like she was saying, we gotta start once we get over Christmas. There she goes. She's laughing. Obviously, once we get through Christmas, enjoy it, and then just sort of make that mental note as we're starting to approach that end of the week. That we're it's going to happen again, and unfortunately, it's just how it's going to segue into the new year. Unfortunately,
yes. Back up your files.
Yep.
Make sure your car is stocked with any emergency essentials. Double read emails and texts before you send them, etc., etc., etc.
Chad's saying is it sounds silly, but initially the natives thought it was taking a picture was like trapping your soul or trapping somebody inside the picture. I don't particularly believe in that, but it's stopping aside to take a picture when it's fake. It's not really the moment. Now, if you're like superstitiously hiding in the background, taking a picture or something like that, and everything that's cool, but like stopping in the moment for everybody pose, I don't do that. Oh, that's respectable.
Yeah, a lot of people that didn't understand the technology of photography believed the same thing because they're seeing an image of themselves, and so they believed that it must be because there's an aspect of their soul that gets stuck in that two-dimensional
correct. Yeah.
Picture.
Yep.
So that was a common misunderstanding.
And even
of the technology.
Crazier too is not only that, but then you had they did the death portraits where the ones that get me the most is one just seeing, here's the body
right
all dressed up, but then when they started learning about how to impose things, then they'll take another photo of like when they were alive and they'll put them like side by side, and I'm like, see that's a little bit more creepier than anything.
100%. I mean, completely agree. Like, what?
And even then, I mean, okay, let's go down this one for a second, because then not only you have the photos, but then you have when obviously way back the meds we have now, we can prevent a lot of the children from dying from various illnesses, diseases, things. But then imagine taking some of the kids' hair and making dolls out of them, so that way their likeness is preserved in a doll, so that way the mother, father, mostly the mother, has got that image of their kid and still can feel their hair. That still gets me, because I've seen
seems a little too much like a puppet to me.
Right.
Eek.
Right. And but even then, going down that paranormal side of things, that's what they always believed, was that the soul of the child would then live inside the doll.
Which I would not want that for my child. Right. I would not want which is why exactly I was thinking puppet, because I'm thinking, well, then wouldn't that potentially bind the soul of the child to the doll, which means the soul then is stuck.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, you're preventing.
They didn't have an understanding of that,
No. Yeah, I mean, it fascinates me that, of how we've evolved and how our processes are thinking through various parts of our lives.
Yeah.
Especially like that. I mean, I understand, it's already tragic to lose your kid and stuff like that. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like. And I know I'm sure there's people watching or that have dealt with that. They've lost their kids, even if they're not necessarily young anymore. I mean, you've had them where accidents happen and they're older, and whatever happens. So, it's just one of those things that you don't want to deal with, especially as a parent. But yeah, to sit there and at least nowadays we can understand that. I mean, if I have the photos and things, at least I know I can go back and just still see them and remember the good times. Obviously, if it's something tragic or something that they're passing away from, that's, you don't want to see those. You don't want to relive that part. You want to make sure that the memory is always positive and not
right.
You don't want to weigh yourself down. And I get it. We all go through different grieving periods, or some of us never let go of those that have passed, and we see that a lot. So you have to do what is good for you in the end. So, let's see. Now we'll pose for dinosaur costumes for Christmas and things like that. My dad. It's more fun not to reread emails. Just send them. Then all reading it, we'll try to figure out what you want, including you. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Victorian hair mourning jewelry?
So actually, that to me, because it's not how shall I say this, a humanoid object to kind of recreate. How should I say? Recreate the person that died in another form. It's, to me, that's very similar to carrying, a vial of someone's ashes. I'm touching my necklace as if I'm wearing one of those things, which I'm not. But anyway, but to me, it's that same sort of thing. It's like you've got a piece of them with you. So same thing. Yeah.
And I mean, and even then nowadays, you don't even have to go to that length, whether it's, the ashes or whether it's, the hair or something like that. I mean, even just sometimes jewelry. I mean, I know Margaret, she still wears her late husband's watch.
Sure.
And that's energy's still there, and you could feel it, you can sense it. And those are cool things too. A lot of times, when I'm doing readings for people like that, jewelry pops up in my head on some of them. Like, do you have like a bracelet, or do you have a this or that? And you know, and a couple to the last one it happened, I was doing a gallery. I'm like, what's going on with this lady? I was connecting with her and I said, what's going on with this necklace? And she immediately grabs her chest. And I said, that's like your grandmother, isn't it? She just like, and then you know, and I've never been, you know, met her before, so but it just, you could feel that energy, you know, through there. So it was a really beautiful moment. So I mean, so there's plenty of ways to use that where you know, you don't
in a not creepy kind of way, like
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and jewelry is really important because it's one of those that they're always close. It's always close to their body.
Yes.
They're wearing it all the time, daily, you know, most of the time. I mean, whether it's a ring or a watch or a bracelet or something.
Yeah.
But
which is why psychometry is a thing, because you can connect with someone's energy through a metallic object that they had been wearing.
Yep.
So that's kind of how that works.
And I don't do it as often, but I do still do it, is that being able to grab an object.
Yeah.
And then I can do a reading from there. So it's not even like for the person per se. It's just like they give me their object and be like, okay, and I'll go through it. And I've had some like ones that just look like blew people's minds out of the water, which is fun because it's like, I had no idea. And then here's all this information that like, you're just holding an object.
Yes.
Wow. But that's the cool thing, is that's all embedded into that object of whatever it is.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be metallic, but it's easier with metallic ones.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah, absolutely.
I that out.
Let's see. Oh, Dinah, I wear a thumbprint necklace with my husband's thumbprint. Okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Carrie, used for memory, not entrapment. Okay. Yeah. For the objects. Sorry, I just got a morning. No, you're good, Della. No worries. Phil, there's a location that I frequently investigate that brought a Victorian hair wreath about 2+ years ago. It's a museum that the wreath was brought it. The activity in it has been off the charts, especially this one child that always comes through via EVP and does a body voice. It's very fascinating.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, you know, and obviously, you know, Phil and his team, Heart City.
A hair wreath.
Yeah.
I had to like
envision that.
Yeah, my brain had to go, he just said hair wreath. And then I had to paint a mental picture of a hair wreath.
The things that people do, you know, I mean,
Boy, the Victorians had a lot of time on their hands to like figure out to do all these bizarre things.
Hey, Jody. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Jody.
I saw.
Hi, gorgeous.
I heard that. I think I just saw yesterday. You guys moved into the temp house, so hopefully you'll get situated real soon.
Yeah.
Chad, if I've met a person, touch their hand or feel their energy when I meditate, I push astral, and I could find them like a radar. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's so many cool ways. I mean, all the remote viewing I do. Of course, there's ways to cut corners. You know, I mean, what I try to do is to speed things up, because when I do sessions remotely, if I can cut down some of the travel time, I like to put it that way, travel time, then I'll do that. So I'll have them, you know, energy like literally like a torch just going up in the sky. So I could just fly around the world until I see this big torch, because once there's the agreement, it's like the lights on, you know. So there's
like a beacon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a lighthouse, you know. But what I'll do though is I'll ask people. I said, do not give me your actual number of your house, but give me the city and give me the street. That I'll cut it to that point. I won't never give me the street. But what it does is I basically kind of everything just lights up quicker. Yeah. And I can kind of, and then the house is there. So it's my little, it's not even a cheat, but it's just a way that I can cut down, because my sessions years ago I could get everything done in 15-20 minutes. Yeah. And I'm talking whether it was a cleanse, whether it was a healing, whether it was a paranormal investigation. I mean, literally, I just cut as much time out so that way I'm not hindering the person that I'm working with or working on. So yeah, that's awesome, Chad. Jody, I bet it. I mean, it has to have. I mean, to go through what you guys went through. Yeah, I mean, we definitely feel for. I mean, I've been trying to watch and keep up with it. So
yeah,
you know, definitely brighter days are ahead. You know that. You know what I mean? And I think you of all people will know that for sure, 100%. I mean, you know, unfortunate, but things happen, and you know, it's a better, brighter future. You know, completely ahead for that. So,
yeah.
Della, I have my own son's ashes in a necklace on a cross, and I love the keychain with this picture. Yeah, right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
We should all type happy birthday. Yeah, I know. I know it was last week, but I appreciate it, Dad. I know. That's the reason why I didn't say anything last Saturday, because actually Margaret did post in the chat. She did say happy birthday. She said happy birthday. So,
yeah.
But nobody, so I'm like, cool. I wasn't going to hit on it. I was going to, but then I thought, it's okay. Everybody would see the post during the week when it was happening. So, but thank you for that. It was, and real quick for my birthday stuff. I mean, it was a normal day, and I mean, Jen knew about it. It just it had to be normal because of everything that was going around. I mean, I was still, it was off all week. I was helping with, picking up and taking the kids to school. And then we had an orchestra concert at night. So like, my birthday was just a normal day. And that's okay. It didn't bother me. It didn't upset me, because why should it? Life is life. Those things were all planned. I mean, my birthday will come around next year. I'll be around for it.
Right.
We'll have fun next year.
And even if you don't have fun on the day,
it's just the week of it.
Right. Exactly.
I know people that they've done that, where they'll take the week and celebrate their birthday every day. I've seen people do it the whole month.
Oh, wow.
Which impresses me.
Yeah, well, that takes a lot of time and effort. As long as I can do something to celebrate near it, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm still holding out in my chosen dinner, because again, our dinner was what do we have that we can quickly eat, because we had to get my daughter to the high school to get ready for it. So yeah, it was quick stuff, which was fine. It was totally fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Carrie. Della, I have a fridge magnet. Also, my son was 27. We were going to do a balloon release. So his friends and their families, by the way, happy. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
Della.
Yeah, Jody. Yeah, I do know that it helps with all the great friends and family and my amazing guy. Oh, absolutely. Happy birthday. Thank you. I've had some interesting experiences since the fire, for sure. Physically and spiritually, absolutely.
Psychically and spiritually, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
That, and again, Jody, I know you know that it's tough for some of us we want to say that to you. You at least know that, so we don't have to, because I know you'll pick up. But correct, yes, there is so many aspects to it, even with the aspect of losing things like you did. I'm wondering, and if you don't want to put it in the comments, we can chat privately about it. But with the psychic and spiritual experiences that you've had, to me, a fire, as devastating as it is, with the amount of loss of like photos and important documents and if you have any like heirlooms and things like that. If you think about it, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be equally devastated, you could get to a point where you can look at it as a purification and a cleansing and kind of a fresh start, and you reevaluate the attachment that you may have had to what is ultimately physical things that you're not going to get. You're not going to have those things when you cross over anyway. So there's a lot of the stress and the earthly things that you have to kind of work out, because now you've got to find another place to live, and you've got to deal with the insurance and all these other things. Once you get past that, it does kind of open, in a weird way, open things up for you. It's like it clears out the old to make way for the new. So new beginnings. Yes, exactly, like you just said. Yeah. 100%. And let's see. Yep. Hey, Jamie. I'm trying to keep my name alive. I think Adam knows how he passed. Yeah, I do, Della. Yeah. Wait.
Is one day sufficient enough to celebrate that the ones we love are alive? It depends. I mean, obviously, it would be better to be a daily occurrence, but we tend to get stuck in the muck of like routine and daily work and things like that. So,
and even then, it'll come down to just you personally.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you feel is good enough? I mean, we all go through different, or need different things. So, a lot of times too, you'll find it that as you go throughout your day, little things will pop up that relate. Hey, I remember this, and then that memory trigger. So then that's, one of those special moments that you share at that time. Now it's small. I mean, it could be small. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a song or something too.
Right.
But yeah, you'll be amazed that, it probably happens more than you think. I mean, obviously you can set up a true day, whether it's the day they passed or their birthday. I mean, I see so many people daily that are talking about their parents or grandparents that have passed away, and they're like, happy birthday. They would have been this. So.
And the ones that we love that are alive. Yeah. So like, ideally no, but if it can be done in other ways throughout the rest of your life, that's obviously better.
A purge from attachments. Yes. Sucks major tower.
Yes.
I mean, and I think we all have had those thoughts. I mean, everybody, to be in a situation, Jody and her man Ken, they've it's a traumatic thing. I think nobody wants to go through a fire per se and lose as much, or even if you lost half of the amount of stuff. I mean, it's very emotional and stressful, like you said. And so, I mean, nobody wants to go through it, but sometimes just kind of how things.
And it's meant to, it's one of those things that is obviously meant to be. Phil, before you go, it was nice meeting you too, virtually meeting you virtually, but have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Take care, buddy. You're going to Union Street to help with the Christmas tree. Yeah, awesome, dude. Yep. Tell Debbie I said hi, and Jeff as well. We were actually talking about, I was talking about them last night. We were literally hitting on Eden Springs, House of David. We actually went, I think we spent a good hour or more on that. So yeah, it was cool to kind of go over things. I forgot so much because it's been so long since we've been there, since 19. So, but yeah, that's awesome, Phil. Have a good one, buddy. We'll definitely talk soon. If you have too many attachments, could it not weigh you down? One sec, Dad. We have been holding up pretty good. I was at work at my desk and thought that I saw a coworker walk through the hallway to her office. And when I went to unlock the office, there was one there. That spirit was clear as a bell. Oh, wow.
Huh.
Oh, wow. And then Chad, having lost a child myself, I'd have to say that fire is equal, because there's that constant reminder of things lost forever, throughout your life. That you lost something that you can never get back, and there's always going to be the constant reminders. Yeah. Ken I, okay, you guys got to get married to Eden Springs. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome.
Whoa.
Which part?
Getting married at Eden Springs.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. Well, just because we were talking about it last night, and then he just went, wow.
I mean, that's the first time I met Ken was there. I mean, I met Jody at a couple holistic events, but then, but that's the first time I ever met Ken was there.
No, I've never been there, so which is dumb because I live in Michigan, but whatever.
You're close.
I know. Well, really close. I'm on the other side of the state, but still. No, you're right. It's only
Michigan.
An hour. No, you're right. It's only an hour.
Close.
Yeah, Benton Harbor is not one of my. Benton Harbor is not typically high on my list of Michigan places to go.
Right. Well, you're right. Yeah, we know that. We know why.
But
it's okay. The part that we would be at. No,
very different.
It's tolerable. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff, but even the beach stuff is great, which I can't wait to get back there myself. Yep, I know. Let's see. Okay, Della, 1 second. Let's see, Jen. One word, Renfest. Yeah, that's true.
Wait, where'd you see Renfest?
Right here.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, what do you mean Renfest? Have I met you at a Renfest? Because I have attended a Renfest or two.
Oh, well, I think it was.
Explain yourself, Chad.
All right, Chad. There's so many things going on.
I back up to Della.
Yeah. And then my dad's question too.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? Oh,
right there.
My dad's asking, if you have too many attachments, could it not weigh you down?
Couldn't it not weigh you down?
Yeah.
No. If you have too many attachments, it could weigh you down.
Right. Yeah. And it's and you would know it. And that's the thing is, mentally and physically, you're going to know it. It's really, physically, you're just going to have that. You're going to be more tired, and that's just sort of that physical signs. And you might not be mentally clear about things. You could be a little foggy about things that are going on. You might be second guessing yourself. You might just be like confused on basic things that are typically simple.
Yes.
You know, and then obviously from a more spiritual aspect, I mean, you know, you might be having dreams of things like that's a classic one of seeing things pull you down, scary images. You can see, you know, usually the same type of figure or like a figure of some sort. It doesn't have to be a humanoid shape. It could be something else that is really holding on to you. That's kind of got those like tentacles. That's probably a great way to put it. So what attachments usually are, there's some type of,
it describes it well. The visual describes it well with tentacle.
Yep.
And with regard to physical attachments, being attached to stuff, when we are too attached to the material and too attached to things, even if it is things like heirlooms and photos, which our heart says, but that reminds me of my family and stuff. True, but you're still not going to get that when you die. Like that's all still going to stay here. And so when you can start to let go of attachment to stuff and kind of really look at like, do I really need this? Do I really, you know, why do I have this? Is it really serving me? Why do I have this? Why do I feel this attachment to it? You can start to purge things. And I was guided to do that a lot this year. And I know I've got a ton more to do because I have a house filled with, and I don't need most of it. Right. So kind of looking at your attachment to things in a way where you're controlling what you let go of and what you keep, while still with the things that you keep, having that kind of understanding that though I'm keeping it for these reasons, I know that it's still, it's a conscious, how should I say this? It's a conscious choice to have it, but were I to lose it, I know that it's for that, you know, for that my highest and best good, and I know it's meant to be. So that way you're not so attached to having that thing that were you to lose it, it would crush you, because then you're letting that thing and your choice to have that depth of attachment to it control you, as opposed to you controlling your level and depth of attachment to it. And so that's where I feel like the loss of things compared to the loss of a person, very, very different, because the loss of a person, you were able to have an energetic connection to them, that you were able to hug them and experience an emotional exchange with them, versus an heirloom desk. A photo album, great to have, but you can live without those things. Whereas you'll see the person that you lost either in your dreams, or they'll come and visit you, or you'll see them on the other side, but it's a huge difference.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big
Oh,
time.
back to ashes though. I have my parents' ashes, in separate little, because they died at different times, little wooden jars on my dresser. So I don't wear their ashes, but I do have little bits of them. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Morning, Sharon. Real quick, I just want to go down real quick.
I was going to say, I want to scroll back up because I missed a ton.
Okay, my brother's. I used to be like that when I needed something and it was hurt when I lost them. Yep. I'm taking it all with me. Of course he is. Of course he is. Let's see, because I know, what was it, Della? Okay,
yeah.
So she said, ooh, whoa.
Hello. Wow.
How did I do that?
I don't know. That's amazing.
I didn't realize it. Okay. All right. So some was, yeah. Okay. Keeping together with everything. Go ahead and put your mama Tupac on his first anniversary. I'm trying. Sorry, lady. What's your name? You look like I've seen you.
Me, lady? This lady?
Sorry, the lady.
Are you talking about me, lady, that you look, Della, that you look like you've seen me? I do have one of those faces, or you've seen me. Maybe he's shared, well, because he's been on Hearts of Change Collective, and he's shared that to his page. So you may have seen me there. Otherwise, I do have one of those faces. So.
And then she was saying, we technically are out of time, but we'll hang for just a little bit longer. Can I ask something about his dad? Della, go ahead. If you haven't asked it, go for it. Also, Chad's saying the best place in the world for y'all to meet like-minded people, literally the land of empaths. Yeah, I mean, I met Chad for the first time in person this year. I went to Michigan Ren Fest on a Viking-themed weekend, which was perfect. And so it was cool, hanging out and get to talk to him for a while, and his wife and stuff. So that was neat. So
I prefer medieval fairs versus Renaissance fairs. Personally, I kind of feel more into the medieval time period than I do the Renaissance period.
Sure.
And I've noticed that when you go to a Ren fair now, or a medieval fair, but mostly with Ren fairs, it's sort of the show up as anything the frick you want fair now.
You're
it's
right.
way less Ren fair and more like, I'm going to show up as Luke Skywalker.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can.
Right.
Doesn't go with the theme, but
No.
you do you. I don't know. It's just gotten kind of weird.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Comic-Con kind of
It
thing.
is. It's becoming more like Halloween
Yeah.
instead of Renaissance.
Yeah. I mean, it's still there. I mean, but yeah, and it
but
still
less
has.
so. It's becoming
yeah.
much more muddled.
Right.
It's just interesting.
You know, but I mean, it's great that everybody can kind of be themselves. I mean, and obviously, I mean, you should be every day, be yourselves. But obviously, they want to be able to dress up like something that really they connect with, and that's awesome too. So,
Yes, agreed.
Let's see.
And I do want to go
Let's see.
to Eden Springs,
Yeah.
Jody.
Oh, how far are we? Okay, Jody. Yeah, the insurance company can't believe how calm we've been about all this. I've been through both in my lifetime. And my fans, I got killed in '98, and now material loss. But I handled this way better. Yeah, and you know what? And obviously, that was you learned.
Mm-hmm.
You learned, on a major event, a major thing like that, the loss of him. It's prepped you because obviously, imagine what you would have been like if this was the first time you've ever been through something this traumatic.
Yes, but again, losing a person is very different from losing
True.
A house. A house you can get another house.
Yeah,
You can't get that same person back.
you're right. Yep, absolutely. Carrie, can we go another hour?
Okay.
Linda, go for it real quick, and we'll hang just a tiny bit longer.
And can you ask a weird question, Linda? God, yeah. I love weird questions.
I wear a tag with 2 of my husband's fingerprints. Yep, a smaller. Yep,
Oh,
yep.
that's beautiful.
I'm sorry, saying late. Oh, I'm sorry, saying late.
Oh, I don't care about saying lady. I just want to know if I'm the lady you were talking about.
Right. Okay, yes. KCPD going or Independence PD going to get the 2-person to put them in jail.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, but no treats when you get dressed up at the fair.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yep.
You have to pay for treats at a Ren fair.
Jen, I know. You know what? I just realized that I should have. That was stupid of me to do that. I should have changed my title down there at the bottom of the screen. I
Oh,
should
to
have
put my
Adam and
name.
Jen.
Yes. So Della, my name is Jen Passavant or Jennifer Passavant. And yeah, you probably saw on you're doing it now. You probably saw me with him on a Zoom is my guess. But again, I do have one of those faces.
That's not going to work either.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, but I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach, energy healing practitioner, and channeler, and we're good friends. So
Yes. Okay, I'm brain farting. Never mind. Where was that? No, that's not it either. Okay, that's too late anyway.
Well, anyway, I just said it.
I just realized that we're both Adam the Black Swamp medium today. We both have dark clothing on. We both have dark hair, other than.
Tell us this. Your name is Cindy.
Right.
Is it? All right.
That's awesome.
Now you got to start calling me Cindy.
Right? Yeah, that's funny. That's my mom's name.
Interesting.
Really
Wow. Okay. I'll tell you the last night I got into bed and all this sudden Eagles song plays on Alexa. Weird.
Push down once.
No, you do it.
It has to activate.
You do it.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to screw anything up.
Yeah.
We're on Adam's computer. We're
Right.
using his equipment.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no touching.
I'm sorry, but last night I got into bed and all of a sudden the Eagles songs plays on Alexa.
Linda, that was the government because they were listening in on you. It's the NSA playing you an Eagles song. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. But they do listen.
yeah,
But I'm kidding.
I mean, as long as you obviously, I mean, you got to rule it. Linda, of all people, you do paranormal investigation, so you got to rule out. Was anything being said at any point in that evening about a particular song of the Eagles? Rule it out. Do your due diligence there first.
Right.
Then think about who's around you. Obviously,
Spiritually speaking.
Right. We're getting into the holidays. That is kind of notorious that friends and family tend to show up during the holidays. So
Yes.
does that song remind you of somebody that's passed? Look at it that way.
Yeah. Or does it mean something to you? Or did the lyrics have a particular message that you needed to hear?
The song was somebody's gonna hurt somebody before the night is through.
That sounds a lot like Mars retrograde and the full moon in Gemini, actually.
Yep. And those were the words that played before I screamed for it to stop. I don't listen to the Eagles either. Oh my gosh.
Huh. That's not the most positive message, but
Chad wants to know, have you ever been to the Mid-Michigan one?
is that the one in Holly? No,
Uh,
Mid-Michigan. No, because Holly's more by Detroit, I think, isn't it?
No.
I don't know my...
Flint? Yeah. Damn.
No, yeah, Flint.
Flint.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
Holly is.
Yeah, pretty much is.
I
Yeah.
think so,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't think so. The Medieval Fair or Ren Fair?
Yeah. The Mid-Michigan. Yeah.
Mid-Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
Medieval
Oh, wait.
Fair?
He's oh no, he's Michigan Fire Festival. I'm sorry. I'm thinking
No.
the no.
I have not. No, I've never been to the
Yeah,
Fire
okay.
Fest. No.
See, we're
But again, I have one of those faces where I look like everybody, apparently.
I know, Dad.
Can I send you a request?
Yeah. Della.
Yes.
Let's see.
Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
um,
I swear it's the government. I do too. I'm telling you. I will never own an Alexa. I will never own one of those devices that Apple uses to talk to Siri.
right.
Nope.
Yep.
Never having any
Yep.
of those things in my house. Not using the Ring security stuff. Not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nope.
Let's see. Oh, okay, so Della was saying, Linda was saying it was probably her husband or his brother.
Oh.
Now, were they into the Eagles?
Interesting.
Were they into the Eagles? That's the next thing. Yes, my dog has been seen sleeping.
On my son pictures on a
Poster
poster
board.
board.
My son is around. Yeah.
Yep. Always. I don't care if you call me Cindy. You can call me jerk face if you want. I don't care. I know. I censored myself.
Whoa. Chad. Yeah, Renfest is in Holly. Nordic Fire Fest is outside of Ann Arbor. I have heard of it. I've never been to that
I've
one
never
yet.
heard of it.
I've heard of it only the last 2 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Linda saying it freaked me out. Her Scott, her new husband.
Oh wow,
checked
that
the
is.
doors
You
and
must have
pulled
been
the guns
doing
out of
it.
the drawers. Holy smokes!
Yeah, the government, they be coming.
Yeah.
I'd be getting my guns out too.
Yep. The husband, okay. Yeah, husband was into Eagles. Well, I mean, and like I said, we are, and I mentioned it, we're into those holiday kind of seasons, so it doesn't surprise me that they wouldn't be trying to just at least say hi. We know they'll visit. I mean, obviously, it's up to you. If you want them to visit more, you have to ask for it. But
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt that they still want to just wave hello. Probably a little bit wild to have that kind of lyrics being said, but then again,
Yeah, but if that was a song that he really liked or something like that,
and
or,
it just got her attention.
yeah,
Because you
precisely.
jumped up and then you went into whoa mode,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they do that too. They'll shock you with things. And he was a jokester. Okay, so that could have been him just screwing with her too.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. How about vision of loveliness? Oh, your name. That's what you say. That's what you say. Yeah.
I will
Okay.
take that.
Yeah.
I will take that. Thank you.
Well, it's funny, him, he'll do the jokes, and I'll even say it too while we're still live. He'll be like, can I take your name? And he'll be, Your Highness is fine. He'll do that. Taking names sitting down in a restaurant or something, Your Highness will be good.
Mhm.
And then everybody's starts dying laughing. Hell of a way to say hi. It would be. I mean, especially at night, everything's you're winding down. So yeah, you're good, Linda. Yeah, I mean, interesting that you jumped, but at the same time, yeah, he really wanted to just get your attention. And even then, just to acknowledge it, even at this point of the game, you acknowledge the fact that we now established it was him. Hey, appreciate it. Not necessarily the best way to, shake us both up like this, but next time let's tone it down a little. You know what I mean?
Right.
Put a little bit of a rule out there for him, just so that way he has an idea.
Yeah,
But
oh ha ha, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you for scaring the piss out of me.
lost the sound. Oh, she lost the sound. It might be the internet. So I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. Here it is at the end of the show. Now we're finally having technical difficulties.
Carrie, yes, Holly is huge. I went there once. We had to stay in a hotel. I was dating a guy at the time, and we had to stay in a hotel because of the drive. But it was enormous. It was fun though. Lots of fun.
Oh, Dell was saying I found 28 cents. I heard the coins there round. He would have been 28 last month. Okay.
Yep. There you go. He's still very much alive. Not,
Jeez.
I mean, in a very different way, but
It was at Walmart, 28 cents. So I was shopping for his son. Oh my gosh.
his way of saying, I see what you're doing.
I mean, did you see the lineup there?
Yeah.
Everything is that's amazing. That is amazing, truly. Lindy, hopefully you're hearing me now, or
Yeah,
us
it's weird.
now.
The
Sorry.
Wi-Fi connection, I think, has been
Yeah,
pretty
it's still
consistent.
holding.
I don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll show up down here where it'll kind of give me a flag, but it's not even saying slow or anything, but I mean, it's full bars. Anyway, all right. Again, yeah, we really could. We really, okay, got it. You know what? And it could be our side, it could be your side. Internet. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go hang out a little bit more, have some fun today. But Jen, please tell everybody, how they can reach you, especially if they're interested in a session from her, which I have had a session from her before.
Mm-hmm. And likewise.
You know what I mean? You don't even need sound for that. So if you can't hear us,
yes.
Need closed captioning. Maybe that'll work.
Right. Well, my website is www.angelenergyhealing.net. And I can put it in the comments, and then you can also visit me on Facebook. It's Jennifer Passavant, Intuitive Spiritual Life Coach, and you should find me there. I think your page likes my page or follows my page, so if you search his page's likes, you should find me there. Right. But I can also again post a link in the comments as well. So anyway, it was awesome, Carrie. It was.
I know.
Yes.
It was long overdue. We didn't make it to 3 years, so we stopped it just in time. So it was awesome.
When the government goes, ha ha. Yep.
Government goes, yeah. This is a great show, isn't it? I mean, this is perfect for the morning show. I mean, we get into some really serious stuff like that. Oh, my brother, because we work together, he's like, he'll open a ticket because of the sound issue.
Oh, so I saw the open a ticket, and I figured it had to do with like a tech or maintenance tickets.
Well, because he handles the help desk side, so I'm his backup and stuff like that. So
sure.
Creating the tickets, and then if I'm in the field, then I go and or any of us that are in the field will go work on the issue of what it is. So that's why he did that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm scheduled to fix the internet on Monday. Okay, perfect. I'm great.
Della, you talk to him a lot. Good. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Oh, and Jamie wants to. This is my cousin's wife. Have you ever been on TV before?
Nope.
No.
I wish.
Again, it's just that.
I have one of those. Yeah. I don't know how I have one of those faces because I've been always told that I look more like an elf or a fairy. So I don't know how I have one of those faces that also looks like everybody at the same time. I don't know.
She just gets around.
I guess, yes.
But
hopefully in the future, Jamie, from your lips to like God's ears.
Right. Wow, is there a twin? Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Margaret, it's always been awesome. I make it a point of trying to be here every week. Hope you guys have a great week. And you too, Margaret. So guys, we'll put her stuff in the chat. So if
nice meeting you too, Jamie.
Yeah, if afterwards you might have to just scroll to the bottom of the chat. You should get together and do a show. And I mean, Jody, that's absolutely a very strong possibility.
Yes.
I mean,
I love you, Jody.
We've gotten out of this, crud of a situation over the last few years. So I think I'm trying to keep it to where we're not.
I love that so much. Yes, perfect.
I try not to give it life anymore by saying
accurate.
what it is. I mean, I say the P word sometimes.
Yes, let's not give that any more energy. It's got plenty.
Right. So we should, and maybe we can, we can convince, Debbie and everybody in Springs to kind of, maybe do something, even if it's just a weekend we can get together, in the summer or whenever. So, thanks, Dinah. Maybe a doppelganger.
Could be.
Could be. Thank you so much for the weekend. Oh, cool. Yep, Della. Guys, check it out. We will put her information. Like I said, you might have to scroll at the bottom of it after the show, post up. I mean, which it will in a few minutes anyway. Mm-hmm. But you guys can scroll to the bottom of the chats and then grab her information if you want to check her out or if you haven't already. Other than that, thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Adam.
Yes,
this has been so much fun.
It was.
We could easily go on for another hour.
We could.
Easily.
We could. Well, and we will be. We're just going to be doing it all.
This is true. But
but thanks everybody. Nikki, thank you so much. It was awesome. Have a great weekend. Love the show. Please post her Facebook name at Fun Ingredient.
Ears and everything, upturned eyes, you name it. The number of times I've been called either Arwen or Jen, which is my name. But the Gelfling from Dark Crystal.
Yes.
The Gelfling?
Yes, you're right.
He has a camel face. I do not look like that, but it'd be like, you look like a Gelfling from Dark Crystal. And I was like, well, my name is Jen, because that was his name.
Wow, you're right.
I do not look like that.
No. She looks like a very amazing person. So seriously, yeah. So, all right, we're out. We're out. You guys have an awesome weekend. Thanks again, Jen. Appreciate the hospitality and being on the show today.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, we guys watch for stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some other things posting up today or this weekend and stuff like that.
Me too. Yep, one of my favorites from childhood. And Labyrinth. Labyrinth is still top of my list. Muppets and David Bowie in tights with like weird metaphysical stuff.
Whoa.
Yes, please. Yes,
Alrighty then. It is. See, this is what helps when you're in person. Though the energy just starts to flow. That's why I said we've been having fun anyway. So okay, guys. Thank you so much again. We will see you again next time. So this has been Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Salt Medium.
Posting my stuff now in the comments.
Okay, so there you go. So you'll see it right now.
Well, no. In a minute.
In a minute.
Give me a minute.
So, but yes. So and then with Jennifer Passavant, thank you guys so much, and we will see you soon. Take care. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.